when you look this up online, you rarely find things about men who report being abused by women, or men who will report any type of domestic dispute with a woman doing something to him. You usually get the reverse, because I believe a lot of men who go through these things feel as though if they came out, no one would believe them, and if they were to call the police would possibly not even come, because they would believe that because he's a man, he's able to handle the situation himself, and he will be able to get through this without their help, because in all actuality, or in all reality, he's a man and he should be able to step up and handle this woman at the best of his to the best of his ability, if we want to say it like that. But a lot of times, guys, this is not the case. A lot of times the guy in this situation, you understand, really needs to talk to someone, and really wishes that there was someone he can speak to, and a lot of the times there is no one he can speak to. So some of the times we see gentlemen do what this gentleman is going to do right here in this video. They'll reach out via social media, or they'll do certain things and put it out there, so hopefully someone can see it, and hopefully someone can come to their rescue. Let's check this video out real quick, guys, before I ramble on too far.
Let me give everybody a summary of what happened. April 25th, 2020, she ended up attacking me in my sleep. I ended up breaking her nose. She ended up flipping everything on me and called the cops. And before I was arrested, I gave the cops my login info for my security camera. I was like, look, watch this. It's all self-defense. Whatever, they held me for 2 days. I was charged with a felony, the first time I was arrested ever. It took them 2 days to go through all of the hours of footage and decided, yeah, this is self-defense, let's drop his charges and let him go. She picked me up from the courthouse, and as soon as we got home, she was ranting and raving about the whole thing. Decided to go through my phone while I was in the shower. Flipped out because she saw that I told my mom that she's hitting me. I felt like it was going to escalate to violence, so I packed the bag and I left. I slept in my car for 4 days while I applied for an apartment. I was approved. We didn't talk for a whole month. She texted me May 20th and said, hey, this is hard, can we talk? She sweet-talked me, asked to see my apartment. I was like, yeah, sure, come over for dinner. She manipulated me. So she comes over. About 2 hours into the evening, she decides to go to the kitchen for a drink. Comes back, lunging at me with a knife. Chases me around my apartment. I lock myself in the bathroom and call 911. Cops come, she's arrested, filed a restraining order, still in pre-trial.
I'm going to leave his TikTok handle right there, so you guys go follow him, go check him out. If you want to know more or see more of his story, definitely go check him out. And as you've seen a lot of those messages, hopefully you guys were able to see a lot of the messages that were there on screen. You guys, the messages I basically just said before I played the video, that a lot of men usually don't report this. And as you heard this gentleman say, when he reported it to the police and they came, he broke her nose, so automatically he's looked at as the aggressor because he's a man. So they locked him up, but without even understanding it was self-defense. Now, how crazy does a man sound saying that he hit a female back in self-defense? When you hear that, I'm even looking around, as you guys see, and you guys may not see, to say that sounds bananas. A man saying he was defending himself against a woman. And then a lot of cases, guys, I looked at a couple of news articles, and it flipped the reverse, where the woman was in disarray, but she has stabbed a guy. So I'm like, okay, what may have happened there? You understand? Did she stab him, and was this him defending himself from her when she stabbed him? A lot of times you're going to look at like, well, maybe he did something to her for her to stab him. Guys, we can't look at it like that. We cannot look at it like that. If any guys are watching this YouTube video, if any guys are listening to this podcast and you're going through a domestic violence situation, or you have something, your wife's cheating on you and you can't speak, you don't want to speak out about it because you're ashamed and you're sad and you're upset about what's going on, and you're afraid that if you do come out about it, people are going to laugh and they're going to talk about you, and you don't want that shame to follow you around. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say something about it. Don't be afraid to come out about it. Society is flipped backwards, and that's the reason for this podcast. That's the reason for this YouTube video, to bring awareness. Now, a lot of times things like this don't even get views. Things like this don't even get likes. People don't even watch these things because who cares about men's depression? Who cares about men suffering in silence? Who cares about men crying in the dark? Who cares about that? They need to man up and stop acting like just and all this other different things you'll hear people saying. They need to man up, right? That's what they need to do. Get strong. Be an alpha male. Be the lion. Not the cub. All these other different things you'll hear. And why this video may not even get that many views, guys. But it's something that needs to be talked about. And if we don't start talking about it, or if we don't start a conversation about this, many men will suffer in silence, and many of those men will wind up snapping, and many of those women will wind up hurt badly because this man has reached a breaking point. And we'll never know that he was being abused the whole time and he wound up doing something to her, because the only thing that's going to be looked at is that he did something to her. That's it. Can men be damsels in distress? That don't even make sense. Because damsel in distress is women. Because he be a Daniel in distress? Can he? We asking that question today? I'm going to leave that question for you guys to answer. If you're new to the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you're aware when I make new videos. If you're new to the podcast, go ahead and follow the podcast. Share the podcast. Let's try to get this podcast to at least 1,000 monthly listeners by the end of the year. And let's try to get this YouTube channel to at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Shout out to everyone who's checking out this podcast. Shout out to everyone who's checking out this YouTube video here today. I'm going to leave you guys with that question and leave you guys with this. With my understanding compared with your understanding, we can create a greater understanding. You have been listening to Relationship Stuff 101 podcast. You have been checking out the Purple Pill Perspective here on YouTube, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.